Are you feeling trapped by artificial dopamine? Do you find yourself spending too much time on gaming, porn, YouTube, and social media? If so, you're not alone. Millions of people are struggling with this problem. Artificial dopamine is a powerful drug that can hijack our brains and lead to addiction. It can disrupt important aspects of our lives, such as our relationships, work, and personal growth. Today, I, Dr. Reza, a specialist in ancient sciences, have something extraordinary to share with you. It's a solution rooted in the heart of ancient philosophy, a wisdom that has stood the test of time. In this video, I'm going to share with you a solution from ancient philosophy that can help you break free from the grip of artificial dopamine. If you're ready to learn how to break free from artificial dopamine and start living a more balanced and fulfilling life, then watch this video until the end. I'll show you how to apply these principles in your own life in a way that's easy and effective. Understanding dopamine fasting. Have you ever heard of something called dopamine fasting? It's this really interesting thing that I tried out, and let me tell you about my experience. So dopamine is this chemical in our brain that makes us feel good and happy. But sometimes we get too much of it from things like using our phones, eating our favorite snacks, or even hanging out with friends. I heard about this idea from Silicon Valley, where all those tech people work. They realized that they needed a break from activities that gave them a lot of dopamine. So they started doing this thing called dopamine fasting. It's like taking a break from all the stuff that makes us instantly happy. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone want to do that? Well, let me explain what happened when I tried it. In our world today, there's just so much going on all the time. We have social media that can be really addictive, and lots of yummy processed foods. But you know what? Sometimes, even though we have all these things that are supposed to make us happy, we end up feeling less happy instead. It's kind of weird, right? The role of dopamine. Let me tell you about something really interesting called dopamine. It's like a little chemical in our brain that plays a big role in making us feel good. When we do something that brings us pleasure, like eating a yummy burger or reaching a new level in our favorite video game, our brain releases dopamine. It's like a signal that says, hey, this feels great. But here's the thing. Our brains are pretty smart. They don't want us to get too used to feeling good all the time, so they adjust the amount of dopamine they release. It's like a balancing act between feeling good and feeling not so good. The problem is that our brains can get used to all that pleasure, and we end up needing even more of it to feel satisfied. It's like chasing after something that keeps moving further away. Practicing dopamine fasting. Okay, let me share my own experience with practicing something called dopamine fasting. It's like a special day that happens once every few months where you do things that help you focus on yourself and discover new things about who you are. It's kind of like taking a break from all the noise and distractions around you. During a dopamine fast day, you do activities that help you relax and think deeply. You might try meditation, which is like sitting quietly and calming your mind. Or you could write in a journal, where you can express your thoughts and feelings on paper. Taking a peaceful walk outside is another great option, where you can enjoy nature and let your mind wander. Deep thinking is also encouraged, where you can ponder big questions and explore your own thoughts and ideas. But here's the interesting part. You avoid socializing, using electronics, and going on social media during this day. It's like a mini vacation from all the screens and distractions. It might be a bit challenging at first, but trust me, it's worth it. When you practice dopamine fasting, something magical happens. You get to know yourself better and discover things you might not have realized before. It's like peeling away layers of distraction and really understanding what makes you unique. You might learn about your passions, the things that excite you the most. Or you could have some amazing ideas that spark in your mind during this time. So if you ever get a chance to try dopamine fasting, give it a go and see what amazing things you can uncover about yourself. Adapting to modern stimulation. I totally get what you're thinking. Can we actually change the way our brains work? Well, here's the thing. Our brains have been wired a certain way for a really long time, like millions of years. So instead of trying to change our brains, we can change the world around us to make it better for our brains. There are some things we can do to create a healthier environment for our brains. For example, practicing meditation can be really helpful. It's like taking a few moments to sit quietly and calm our minds. And you know what? It actually makes us feel better and more content. Another cool thing we can do is journaling. It's like writing down our thoughts and feelings in a notebook. It helps us understand ourselves better and find joy in the little things. By doing these practices, we're creating a better balance in our lives. We're shifting away from constantly seeking intense stimulation, like always wanting something exciting to happen. Instead, we're focusing on finding contentment and happiness in the present moment. It's like taking control of our own happiness in this world that can sometimes be too overwhelming. We don't have to change our brains, but we can change our environment and make it a better place for our minds to thrive. Addiction and dopamine fast. Let's talk about something important: addiction. We all know that we can get addicted to different things like gambling, watching too much pornography, playing video games non-stop, or spending too much time on social media. But don't worry, because I want to tell you about something that can help: dopamine fasting. Here's the idea. Imagine taking a break from the substance or behavior that you feel addicted to and doing it for a whole month. Yes, that's right. 30 whole days. It's like hitting the reset button on your brain's dopamine system. By doing this, you're giving those little creatures in your brain called neuroadaptation gremlins a chance to step away from the side of pain and bring things back to balance. Now, these gremlins are pretty sneaky. They don't really care which side of the balance gets tilted first. So if you start doing things that lean towards the side of pain, like intense exercise or taking an ice-cold water bath, those gremlins will react by jumping over to the pleasure side. They're really clever, aren't they? The idea behind dopamine fasting is to break the cycle of addiction and give your brain a chance to find balance again. It's not easy, but it can be a powerful tool to help you regain control. By taking a break from the addictive substances or behaviors, you're giving yourself a chance to discover other things in life that bring you joy and fulfillment. Remember, my friend, you're not alone in this. Dopamine fasting can be a step towards overcoming addiction and finding a healthier balance in your life. It's a journey, and with support and determination, you can make positive changes. Remember, my friends, start small and build from there. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your dopamine fasting practice doesn't have to be either. It's all about finding what works for you and gradually increasing the time spent away from addictive activities. Dopamine fasting is a powerful tool for resetting our minds and finding contentment in a world of excess. It's time to embrace the journey of self-exploration and reclaim control over our dopamine-driven lives. As always, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more mind-blowing content. Stay awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.